Hi, I'm Stephanie Jaworski of joybaking.com. Today we're going to make chocolate cupcakes. This recipe gives us a double dose of chocolate because not only do we have the chocolate cupcake, but we're going to cover them with the chocolate frosting. But first, let's start with the chocolate cupcake. We need to preheat our oven to 370 degrees Fahrenheit, that's 190 degrees Celsius. And then you can either line about 16 muffin cups with paper liners, or for a change, I'm going to use these small, cute little paper cups. So first you need to take 1 cup, that's 240 milliliters of hot water, boiling hot water, and stir in a half a cup, that's 50 grams of Dutch processed cocoa powder. And then just stir that and then let it cool to room temperature. And then in a separate bowl, put 1 1/3 cups, that's 175 grams of all-purpose flour. And to that I'm going to add 1/4 teaspoon of salt and 2 teaspoons of baking powder. We're using baking powder with this because of the Dutch processed cocoa powder. So just whisk that together to incorporate them all. And then in a stand mixer with a paddle attachment, or you could just use a bowl with an electric hand mixer, I'm going to put 1/2 cup of room temperature butter. Now I like to use the unsalted because I like the flavor better, plus I like to regulate the salt in the recipe. Now if you were using salted butter, then I would leave out the salt that you put into the flour. Just don't use that. So I'm just going to beat this until smooth. And then I'm going to add 1 cup, that's 200 grams of granulated white sugar. And I'm just going to beat that for a couple minutes till creamy smooth. Okay, that's good. And I'm just going to scrape down the sides. And then I'm going to add 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract. Try to use the pure vanilla extract, that tastes better than the artificial. And then you need 2 large eggs. I'm going to add 1 at a time and beat that one in, and then I'll add the second one. Scrape down the sides if you need to. Second egg. And then I'm going to just add the flour mixture. And just beat that until it's incorporated. And then I'm just going to stir in the cocoa powder and water by hand. Otherwise I will make a mess. It's a wire whisk. Okay. So now I'm just going to fill these cups. I have put a link on the site where you can buy, if you like these little cups, where you can buy them online. They're nice, not for every day, you don't need these, but if you're for a party or something special, you might want to use these cups. They're cute. And just fill your muffin cups about 2/3 full with batter. This makes about 16, depending on the size of your muffin cups and how much you fill them up. You see, I've used an ice cream scoop to do this. You could just use a small ladle or spoons for this. Okay, so I got about 15. So I'm going to bake these for about 16 to 20 minutes, just until they've risen, they're springy to the touch, and a toothpick inserted in the center comes out clean. Okay, our chocolate cupcakes are now done. As you can see, they've risen quite a bit and they're springy to the touch. And if you insert a toothpick into the center, it'll come out clean. Now I'm just going to let these cool on the wire rack to about room temperature. That'll take about an hour, and then we will make the frosting. We're now going to start the chocolate frosting. First, we need to melt some chocolate. We're going to use 4 ounces, that's 120 grams of unsweetened chocolate for this, and you need to chop it into small pieces, and then I'm just going to place it over a saucepan of simmering water and just melt it until smooth. Okay, our chocolate is all melted and smooth. So I'm just going to leave it here to cool to room temperature. That'll take about 10-15 minutes. Okay, our chocolate has now cooled to room temperature, and we will finish off the frosting. So we will need 2/3 of a cup, that's 150 grams, of either salted or unsalted butter, whichever you like, and that should be at room temperature. And I'm just going to beat that until it's smooth. This is your basic butter chocolate frosting. And what we're going to add to that is 1 1/3 cups, that's 160 grams of confectioner sugar, or you may know it as powdered or icing, and sift that to get rid of all the lumps, because we want our frosting to be nice, creamy, smooth. So I'm just going to add that to the butter. If you don't have an electric stand mixer, you could just do this with a electric hand mixer. That'd be fine. Whoops. And then I'm just going to beat this for a couple minutes until it's light and fluffy. Do it on low speed to start, or you'll be covered in the confectioner frosting. Scrape down the sides, make sure all that sugar gets mixed in to the butter. So to that, I'm going to add 1½ teaspoons of pure vanilla extract. I like to use the pure because it has better flavor than the imitation ones. So just beat that until it's incorporated. Now I'm going to add that 4 ounces of melted chocolate. Now you want to make sure this is cooled to room temperature, because if you didn't cool it enough, then it'll melt the butter, which is not what we want. But if that happened and then you found that your frosting was just too soft, you could always just put it in the refrigerator to firm it up a bit. Sure, I get all the chocolate here. Don't waste any. Okay. So I'm going to start this on low speed until the chocolate is all incorporated into the butter and sugar, and then I'm going to turn up the speed to about medium-high and beat it for about 2-3 minutes, or until it's smooth and glossy and the right consistency to pipe. Scrape down and make sure it gets mixed together. As you can see, the frosting is starting to lighten in color as I beat it. That's how we want it. Nice and thick. I'm just going to beat it for about another minute. Okay, so we're done. Now, I'll show you a couple ways. Now, if I was doing this just for the kids for every day, I would just use a knife or one of these offset spatulas, and I'd just put some frosting on the top, like so. And then just put some sprinkles, since the kids really like sprinkles. And I would just do that. But as you know from all the bakeries and that, they like to pipe it. So if you want to do that, you can use a bag like this, or you can find disposable bags. And I've used a 1M open star tip like that, or a star tip. There's all different types, and you can just experiment with them. So you just put this in the piping bag. I like to put it in a glass because it kind of helps be able to put the icing in. Yeah, just put a bit. So as you can see, not all my cupcakes are not perfect. And this one, obviously, I filled a little too much. Now, if you have that, you could just take a knife and just cut it right off to even it, if you want like a real flat top. And then that's a cook's treat. And then, so we just take our bag, and then just make sure you just press down to get all the frosting. And then you want to make sure you get all the air out of the bag. So once you have it kind of come down, then I would twist the end. And then you can do as much or as little. I just kind of go around. This takes a little experiment. You got to kind of work on it. Practice makes perfect. And just like that. And if you want to put more sprinkles, you could do that. Now these are best the day they are made, but you could cover them and keep them for a day or two. So until next time, I'm Stephanie Jaworski of joybaking.com.